A lot of you guys in the comments have been asking me, check, how do you charge your Tesla for free? Don't worry, I got you. And I also noticed a lot of you guys have been commenting from my last video whether or not is it worth it to buy a used Tesla Model X. I'll give you a brief summary to help guide you through this process and help you determine if it's worth it for you to particularly buy a Tesla Model X. This channel is not a car channel, and trust me, I am not a Tesla fanboy, but I believe in adding value into your life by sharing my personal experiences. So join the family by subscribing so you don't miss out on any future uploading. Give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. Thank you very much for your support. I have a Tesla Model X 2017 with 61,000 miles on it, and I had it for almost 2 years. But back in 2023, when I used to sell cars for a brief moment, about 4 months, when customers show up in a dealership and inquire about buying a used or new EV vehicle, the first question I would always ask them is, how do you plan on charging your vehicle? That is the most fundamental and most important question. I don't care how much of a good deal that you're getting on this vehicle that you're potentially buying. If you skip this question, how you're going to charge this vehicle on a regular basis, I promise you, you will potentially be making a huge mistake and you will regret this decision. I've seen it a lot of time in New York and New Jersey, people going through hell, waiting in line for hours, not worth it. In my opinion, if you own an electric vehicle, you should not be going through hassle. That defeats the whole purpose. Owning an EV vehicle should be easy, convenient, and hassle-free. Just because you live in an apartment building don't mean that you cannot have an EV vehicle. But for me, when it comes to choosing an electric vehicle, I believe that Tesla is the best option. Reason being is because of the amazing free features that they have. I will go over them more in details. The only time I usually pay to charge my vehicle is when I go on road trips to North Carolina or to New York. So far overall, I think it's worth it, and I have not had any major problems, thank God, knock on wood. I only drive about 10,000 miles per year. This may not be the case for you, especially if you drive for rideshare or Uber. Now let's talk about the point of this video. How do I charge for free? Well, this definitely depends on where you live. Is your state or city or county EV friendly? Some cities might be more EV friendly. For example, in Wilmington, North Carolina, when I drove there, it was almost no chargers in the area. The nearest one was almost over 40 miles. I actually ran out of charge and I had to get my vehicle towed. And this only happened to me once. But typically, if you live in Maryland or Virginia or Washington, D.C., those areas are very EV friendly, especially if you live close to a college or university. When I was purchasing my EV vehicle, I really took this into consideration because I did not want to go through hassle on a regular basis just to charge my car. I will show you guys screenshot receipts of how I've been charging for free for the last 12 months. It is absolutely not impossible to charge your EV vehicle if you live in an apartment building. Some apartment buildings might also offer free charging, or they might charge a small fee. The big question is why some areas are more EV friendly than others. This has a lot to do with many factors such as politics, or sometimes the government offers some kind of incentive, or they want people to drive more EVs, especially in the last couple of years, they install chargers. First step is to download this app. The app that I use in particular is called ChargePoint. It might require you to set up an account. That is very easy and it takes about a few minutes. But in your particular area, ChargePoint may not be the most popular one. It might be a different app. But regardless of which app that you use, for me, again, I use ChargePoint. You have the ability to filter the options that you want. For example, if you want to only charge at free charging stations, you could filter it and you can find all the free charging stations near you. It might not be very close, but it requires some creativity. That is one of the main reasons why I decided to buy a foldable e-bike. On the app, I also have the ability to find out how much some charging stations charge and how much it might cost me either by the hour or for the duration of the time that I'll be charging for my vehicle to be full. It might give you a rough estimate anywhere between $10 to $16. And on an average, it takes between 7 to 10 hours to fully charge your vehicle. I completely understand that having a foldable e-bike is not for everybody. But for me, it's seamless and it's fun, and I don't mind it at all. The beauty with this app that I use, ChargePoint, you can actually determine before you even go to the charging station if they have any available chargers, because sometimes it might be full. But do keep in mind, sometimes the app may not be always 100% accurate. Sometimes one of the chargers may have been broken and they have not updated on the system yet. In general, I prefer to use the level 2 charging, which is better for the battery health in the long run. Most public chargers are usually level 2 chargers. Again, it takes anywhere between 7 to 10 hours to fully charge. One of the questions that a lot of you have is, how often do I charge my vehicle? I personally charge once a week. When I charge to full, which give me about 209 miles, I'm good for the whole week. I work only 15 days out of the month. But when it's really cold, I kind of hate it sometimes because I have to charge more frequently, at least once every 3 days, especially when I use the heater. Back in December 2023, when I bought my vehicle, when it's fully charged, I get about 260 miles. Obviously, on EV vehicles, you're going to have degradation. So now I get about 208 or 209 miles, which is still not bad. All right, enough of me talking. Now I'm going to take you guys on the tour so you guys can see how I charge my vehicle on a regular basis. By the way, my EV foldable bike cost me about $345. Now let's go over the pros and cons of EV vehicle. The first thing about the Model X in particular that I like is the self-presenting door and self-closing doors. I love the reliability. I love the security system in the dash camera. It's cheap to maintain and it looks good. You constantly get compliments. I love the free software over-the-air updates and the smart cruise control. You don't really need full self-driving. The Tesla Model X is very spacious and comfortable. I particularly have a 7-seater. I love the huge storage space, especially in the front. This car in particular is very reliable and dependable. Teslas usually come with a lot of free services that other companies like Toyota or Hyundai usually will charge you. For example, if you want to use their system to control the climate or to lock or unlock your vehicle, you usually have to pay an upgrade fee or subscribe to one of their services. But with Tesla, you just need the app, which is amazing. One of the things I really like about this Tesla Model X is your ability to use the app and control the temperature. You could preheat or precondition your vehicle before you even get in the car. You could do that with any Teslas, but a lot of companies usually will try to charge you for that. This Tesla Model X in particular is very fast. It goes from 0 to 60 in about 4.8 seconds.
I'll do this 0 to 60.
Now let's go over the cons. One of the things that a lot of people might not really like is you have to replace your tires pretty often because the vehicle is very heavy, typically about every 15,000 miles. Another con is sometimes you might hear different noises coming from different parts of the car. I have got this fixed before and also fixed the half shaft, but for some reason, you always gonna have some kind of noise. I think I kind of got used to it and it don't really bother me no more, but I'm gonna show you guys here so you can have an idea what I'm talking about. Another con which I have talked about earlier is a significant decrease in range when it's really cold outside. You usually have to charge so much more frequent than your normal. Again, I usually charge once a week, but on the winter I charge about every 2 or 3 days. All right, my friends, so we are done here. Comment what EV vehicle you currently have and how you've been dealing with it, or comment what EV vehicle you personally thinking about buying. And if you already have an EV vehicle, let me know whether or not if it's worth it. How are you charging your vehicle on a regular basis? Friends, I want to take this time to say really thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you for all your help and all your support. Give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future upload. Thank y'all. See you on the next one. Peace.